Hey guys, welcome to Bubbleman's World. Just a quick little short message I wanted to share with you guys today. I had one of my employees call me today and ask me in regards to a video that did some explaining about the endocannabinoid system, pointing people in the right directions, how they can learn a little bit about the endocannabinoid system. So I thought as I was driving home from downtown today on my way up to the bay, I would stop here where I used to live at beautiful Sunset Marina, right between Horseshoe Bay and Squamish. Beautiful waterfront properties here, about 8 of them. And I thought, what better place to give you guys a little bit of a lowdown on the endocannabinoid system. So the endocannabinoid system is basically a signaling system that allows the body to regulate biological function through homeostasis of the immune system and the central nervous system. Now it does this through signals that are basically run on the fuel that is cannabinoids. Now, cannabinoids can be produced endogenously in the body through the consumption of essential amino acids. This is why they are considered to be the building blocks of life, because they build cannabinoids, endogenous ones inside your body. Plant cannabinoids, also known as phytocannabinoids, can also be obtained by the consumption, either orally, vaporization, smoking of cannabis. And they have a similar, they also regulate biological functions. And how you can know this without really doing too much deep research is that smoking cannabis increases appetite. They call it the munchies. It reddens and puffs up the eyes. This is actually the release of ocular pressure. Extremely important to someone who is suffering from glaucoma and potentially going to lose their sight. The release of the ocular pressure in an instant of inhaling cannabinoids can save one's eyesight. So that's a pretty serious thing. As is the increase of appetite in someone that's dying of wasting syndrome. Producing an appetite in someone that has no appetite whatsoever is miraculous. It's why it seems like a miracle when you give a small child one single drop of this oil and it can eliminate hundreds of seizures daily down to 1 seizure a month. It's not a miracle. What it is it is a very important part of our bodies. It is a very important part of how we regulate and how we stay healthy. And it has been deemed illegal for the last 40 to 50 to 60 to 70 plus years. And so now we're learning. Now we're learning that, not just the smoking aspect of it, but the really important aspect of it has become the oral. If you're suffering, really, if you want to prevent disease, you should be consuming phytocannabinoids orally. I myself prefer to do that through a coconut oil extract, but there is a huge variety of ways that you can learn to extract the resins. You can learn about decarboxylation, which is it sounds more complex than it is. It's simply heating up the resin to the point where the acids of the THC, CBD, CBN, all of the cannabinoids that are in acid form, they decarboxylate through the heat, and a carboxylic acid ring is removed, and what that does is it activates the cannabinoids. It activates THC, it activates CBD, CBN, so they become activated once heated. You never had to think about this before because you were smoking it, and of course when you heat it, decarboxylation occurs instantaneously. When you're baking or cooking or creating an oral extract like a coconut oil extract, we're going to be using temperatures for certain amounts of times, and I have videos on this very thing if you want to Google coconut oil hash extraction. I did a really nice YouTube video that shows you how much to use per cup of coconut, how long to leave the crock pot on for how long, and how long to leave the crock pot on for how long, and all of those things sort of taken care of in that way. And if you want to check that video, you feel free to. I would also urge you to check out my Facebook group, the Endocannabinoid System. There is some incredible compilation of people in there putting stories and clips and videos and all sorts of really inspirational information on the endocannabinoid system, on the success story of people shrinking their cancers, eliminating cancers, or at least shutting cancers off to the point where they're no longer detrimental and life-threatening. So that's a huge thing. So I tell people on the regular, feed your endocannabinoid system. That's not to say that if you're dabbing up a storm, that's going to take care of business. You know, it will to a certain degree. If you have glaucoma and you're smoking or vaporizing, you're definitely going to see an immediate relief, an immediate, medicinal benefit. But if you've got something more along the lines of massive tumors, tremors, other things that might require a deeper, saturation of the endocannabinoid system. And it's one of the reasons I've been so impressed with United Cannabis and with Blue River is their Act Now program, the Activated Cannabinoid Therapy program, which really sheds light. And what it does is it creates a landscape for a person to see a phytocannabinoid medicinal and preventative aspect landscape that allows one to see the importance of the subtleties of actually stacking cannabinoids and not just, taking one plant, extracting it and using that as your medicine, but extracting many strains, many plants, and then stacking those into these really beautiful prana products that UCAN is producing, and we're hopefully going to be producing in Jamaica with our Jamaican project here in the next couple of months. We're just waiting to get our clinical trials going, our animal studies, so that we can make sure we know how safe it is. But these guys have a way of doing things that you got to follow if you want to play their game, so that's what we're going to do. So now I think it's time to feed my endocannabinoid system. I got some beautiful 7-star from Horatio, really nice sift, and it's grape crush, and I'm hitting it out of the Fabergé egg with the DC glass banger, so I think it's cooled off enough. Rock carb. Rock stone was my pillow is the Bob Marley lyric, but how about rock cab? Rock stone was my carb cap. There we go. Beautiful taste on that 7-star that Horatio's whipped off there. The added terpenes really push the flavor over the top. Makes me just want to hit one after another, which, I mean, I might as well do, really. Might as well do. So yeah, if you guys have any questions on the endocannabinoid system, this is a real short little video, just giving you some background on it. You can Google, there's a variety of people, Dr. David Allen, who comes onto Hash Church. You can look for him on Facebook. He's an endocannabinoid specialist. Robert Malamade, I think is his name. He's also quite a doctor who's also very involved and knowledgeable in the endocannabinoid system. You've got Dr. William Courtney, who is of course the specialist in juicing cannabis and juicing the acid versions of the resins, and really explaining on how medicinal, preventative that those cannabinoids can be as well. So very exciting to have all of these different people. And of course, if you want to check out a really great place to get updated on the regular, check us out at Hash Church right here on Bubbleman's World. We usually put up the link 2 or 3 days before Hash Church starts, so you can see the live countdown. And yeah, we go for 3, 4, 5 hours. We talk about a lot of growing and lights and hash making, but we also talk about the endocannabinoid system, and we have some pretty valid people with PhDs and doctorate degrees and really knowledgeable people in the industry. Low temp terp sift dabs are just killer. Thank you, Horatio. Loving the 7-star dabs here today. Sitting on the Howe Sound in beautiful British Columbia. Just to give you a quick little reference, this is probably about 5 kilometers from north of Horseshoe Bay, where the ferries take you to Vancouver Island. Right across the way behind me, the tallest mountain in the clouds is actually the Sunshine Coast. And then to the left of that, you've got Bowen Island, and to the right of that, you have this little guy named Boyer. It's right behind me, and then the huge islands to the right of that are multiples are called Gambier Island. So, I think that's all I'm going to share with you guys today. Little endocannabinoid knowledge. Please feed yours every day, and we'll talk to you very soon on Bubbleman's World. Thanks for watching.